Thompson here with Subtle Energy Sciences, and welcome to Monatomic Gold, a brand new energetically encoded program we've just produced and released that features the amplified energetic signature of Monatomic Gold. And as I go on with this recording, you may hear me start to speak in a more calm manner because I have Monatomic Gold running in the background, and it is incredibly relaxing, centering, and calming. And one of the most prominent reports we keep getting back from it is that it creates this protective layer around people when they use it throughout the day in stressful situations. They feel like they're protected from whatever's going on around them because it's very calming, very soothing, very relaxing. Now, that said, it's also very powerful. The program comes in various components that range from mild amplitude to strong amplitude that allow you to vary the amplitude to what works for you, okay? But this is a powerful program. Monatomic Gold is a powerful substance, and you can't overdo it. So you do want to start out with this easy and find out what your how you're able to handle it at first, okay? Because it is very powerful. So most people handle it just fine in the beginning, but you want to make sure you don't get it too strong because this is monatomic gold. It is derived from 99.99% pure 24 karat food grade gold, and even though it is a healthy mineral that can be taken into the body, if you take too much of it at once, it could give you a headache, so you want to be careful. But it's very, very, very powerful. We're getting all kinds of amazing feedback from this, everything from increased out-of-body experiences while sleeping and dreaming. We've had one person who's had these reports, and in fact, one of the common reports of people who commonly ingest the physical substance monatomic gold on a consistent basis over the long term is that they feel that it accelerates their deeper psychic and spiritual gifts, such as clairvoyance and telepathy and so on. So now this isn't guaranteed for every person. It depends on where you are in your alchemical journey. But we are getting, we have gotten reports such as this. So it's very, very, very powerful. Also, one of the main reports we keep getting, again, is that it's calming. And it creates this deep, enveloping sense of emotional support, emotional balance. We know for a fact that monatomic gold balances the left and right hemispheres of the brain. So I'm very excited about this program. And essentially, again, what it is it is the amplified energetic signature of an alchemical substance known as monatomic gold, which I'll talk about a little bit more here in a little bit. And essentially what we've been able to do is to extract the energetic signature of monatomic gold and record it as a digital signal and then import it into our proprietary process and software and amplify it many, many times so that it becomes so powerful and so tangible that when we encode it into digital media, such as digital picture files and digital audio, when you play those back on your electronic devices, they create this powerful, tangible field of monatomic gold through your electronic devices. This is powerful technology. And essentially, how we've been able to do this is based on everything that I've learned over the past 10 years around quantum physics, radiesthesia, radionics, and various energy medicine techniques. And it's a conglomeration as well as an original synthesis of various techniques, including techniques I've created myself, that allow us essentially to tap into the informational field that informs any substance how to be what it is. Now, You might be familiar with the famous equation E equals mc squared from Einstein. And you might be aware of the now very common saying of everything is energy. While that is true, and essentially that's what the E equals mc squared equation basically says, is that all matter is equivalent to energy. Although that's true, there's also a missing component to that, and it's an informational component. There is, we know from information theory, we know from various missing elements in biology, for example, one missing component that has been brought back through the work of Rupert Sheldrake, who's a British biologist, is the idea of morphogenetic fields or morphogenic fields, which are non-molecular, non-physical fields of information that build up over time that inform genes and DNA through resonance how to be and how to function in the way that they are uniquely designed and created to function. And this theory of morphogenetic fields or morphogenic fields is able to explain phenomena in a way that typical gene science, genetic science, and DNA science can't typically explain by themselves. But this theory is able to explain it. And essentially, we know that information is informing all matter how to be what it is, how to be itself. One way I try to illustrate how this is so is by using the E equals mc squared equation. So essentially what that means is that energy is equal to mass sped up to the velocity of light squared. So essentially, if we were to take all the mass in the universe and speed it up to the velocity of light squared, it would become pure energy. That's what E equals mc squared is saying. Now, let's say we wanted to take that process and put it in reverse, so that we take all this energy and we turn it back into matter. What do? We slow it all back down. But wait a minute. What is telling the energy to become a chair, to become Eric, to become a piece of carpet, a tree, a bamboo tree versus an oak tree? What's telling it to become oxygen or the various elements? Well, obviously there's an informational component, a missing informational component that is telling matter how to be itself, how to function as its unique function. And we actually have echoes of this throughout various fields of scientific endeavor and in philosophy, as well as in religion. For example, in one of the pre-Socratic philosophers, Heraclitus, said, "In the beginning was the Word," right? In the beginning was the idea, the thought, right? And then the Apostle John borrowed that for the Gospel of John, and the very first verse in there says, "In the beginning was the Word," right? The Logos, the idea, the thought. So then Plato had his idea that all form originates from these perfect ideas, which are kind of mental in origin, and they're perfect, whereas the physical expression of those ideas tends to be imperfect. Then you have, again, British biologist Rupert Sheldrake's theory of morphogenic fields, which is this idea that habit fields or non-molecular informational, non-physical fields build up over time through habit to inform substances and species how to be themselves. And we've seen experiments that bear this out. For example, one of the famous ones is the Morse code experiment, where two groups were taken. One group was taught the real Morse code. One group was taught a fake Morse code. And the group that was taught the real Morse code was able to learn that code much more quickly than the group that was taught the fake code. And why would that be? That would be because somewhere in the quantum field, that memory of all those years in which Morse code was developed and used and practiced, that has been recorded in the ethers. And in fact, it's interesting that throughout the various religious traditions, each religious tradition has its own teaching, in a sense, where there is an aspect of the world, you could call it spirit, you could call it the causal plane. In Hinduism, they call it the Akash, or the Akashic records. There is, and in Christianity, they call it the Book of Life. There's an aspect of existence that records everything, records every thought, every intention, every action, everything that's ever existed is recorded here. And so it's a kind of library that we can tap into. And in fact, we here at Subtle Energy Sciences do regularly tap into this field to create a lot of our different signatures, because this quantum field has a recording of everything that's ever existed in history, right? So again, this idea that information is the basic stuff of the universe, not just energy, but informed energy. So when people say everything is energy, that's true, but as we showed through the E equals MC squared experiment, it's not just that everything is energy, everything is informed energy. And so essentially, what we've been able to do is to tap into the informational data field of monatomic gold, extract that informational data field, extract it as a digital signal, import it into a proprietary software and process that amplifies that digital signal many millions of times, and then encodes it into digital media such that when you play that media back on your electronic devices, they create this powerful field of monatomic gold. And if you've ever used monatomic gold as a physical substance, you know that you have to keep buying it every month because it's a physical substance and it's very expensive. Whereas the monatomic gold energetically encoded program, you only have to buy it once. And so when you see the price that we're offering here, trust me, this is a steal. I've had friends tell me, business partners tell me that I sell this stuff for way too low a price. I do this because I feel obligated to, because I want to make this technology available to the masses. We believe that we're eventually going to reach millions and millions and millions of people with this technology, and I want to make it as affordable as I can. So what you're seeing here is a tremendous, tremendous value. So let's talk a little bit about what monatomic gold itself is. So essentially, monatomic means having one atom in the molecule. Monatomic gold specifically is part of a group of high-spin minerals that are often referred to collectively as ORMUS, O-R-M-U-S. And essentially, this comes from an acronym that essentially means orbitally rearranged monatomic elements, ORME, and that's been changed to ORMUS. That's become the famous name. So ORMUS is a superconductor at room temperature and shows characteristics of energy production and can receive, save, and release light, energy, and information without loss. It's believed to be absorbed into the body when ingested, and monatomic gold specifically is believed to enhance the energetic conductivity of DNA. Monatomic gold has also been shown to enhance focus, improve brain function, balance the left and right hemispheres of the brain, increase intelligence, improve memory, and support greater emotional balance. It allows some consciously held beliefs and worries to surface and become understood. And in some individuals, as we talked before, monatomic gold can activate dormant senses such as clairvoyance, clairaudience, and telepathy when it's used consistently over the long term. It's very calming and balancing, as I said before. It strengthens the blood and heart and reduces infection and boosts the immune system. It's also great for the skin and hair and has many different types of anti-aging properties. So for those of you interested in using monatomic elements as catalysts for the inner alchemical journey, the journey begins here with monatomic gold. So speaking of this, by the way, this program here, Monatomic Gold, is the first installment in an ongoing series of energetically encoded programs that will feature the amplified energetic signatures of various monatomic elements. This series is called the Audio Ormus 2.0 series, and again, Monatomic Gold is the first installment in that series. And this series will feature the energetic signatures of monatomic platinum, monatomic palladium, monatomic rhodium, monatomic iridium, monatomic osmium, and monatomic ruthenium. So we'll be slowly rolling out each of these new programs in this series over the next year or so. So keep an eye out for those as well. And finally, again, if you know us, you know that we offer a 90-day money-back guarantee on everything that we offer. We do our best to make this as simple and easy for you. Essentially, all you got to do is give it a try for 90 days. And if any time in that period you're not satisfied for any reason, just give us an email at info@subtle.energy or info@subtleenergysciences.net, and we'll refund your money absolutely, no questions asked, no hassles. Okay, it's very, very, very simple, very easy. I know of companies on the internet that offer various types of self-improvement products that cost many, many times more what we're asking for Monatomic Gold. And they give only like a 30-day money-back guarantee. So we really do our best to develop that trust with our customers. And I believe you're going to love this program. 90-day money-back guarantee, Monatomic Gold. Thank you.